Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. I'm morning live, 7:30 till 8:25-ish. Good morning. We're live on Rethink Drink YouTube, Rethink Drink Facebook, and obviously here on TikTok. So welcome. I'll just give it another couple of minutes. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all well. My name is Bruce Rose. I am the co-founder of Rethink Drink alongside Matt Brindley. And together we work with clients who struggle with alcohol dependency, alcohol addiction. So for the next hour or so, literally, I'll just be running through a brief explanation as to what we do and how we do it, and also answering a few questions. Most of the questions come through TikTok. If you are watching with YouTube or Facebook, again, you can ask questions in there as well. So, good morning, welcome. My name is Bruce Rose, and alongside Matt Brindley, I am the co-founder of Rethink Drink, and we work exclusively with clients who struggle with alcohol addiction, alcohol dependency. We're not a 12-step program, we're not an abstinence-based program. So here today, nothing wrong with those programs, but we won't be discussing 12 steps, abstinence, etc., etc. So if people do have questions in that field, it's not a program that we run. So we try and keep the questions and the comments. Well, you can put whatever comments you up, but I will reply to comments that are specifically topic related. Okay, good morning. So let me just start the usual place where I usually start, is what are people addicted to when they consume alcohol? The answer to that one very simply is endorphin. When you drink alcohol, it produces endorphin in the brain. When you do that on a repeated basis, the brain slowly but surely becomes more and more and more dependent or addicted to the endorphin. Then when someone tries to stop drinking and you remove the alcohol, you remove the endorphin that the brain has become addicted to, and that creates craving. The craving for that endorphin creates relapse, and the whole alcohol recovery or the alcohol cycle goes round and round and round and round. Drink, sobriety, relapse, drink, sobriety, relapse. So the starting point with everything is endorphin related, everything. So the starting point has to be endorphin. The starting point, we have to move away from willpower. We have to move away from the fact that it's a personality issue, that it's a character shortfall, that it's an issue as an allergy. It's all this kind of stuff. It's a neurological condition whereby when you drink alcohol, it produces endorphin in the brain. That endorphin is a chemical. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel happy. It gives you the buzz. It also works as an anesthetic. So it's what numbs people out when they're drinking. It's what gives you the reward and the buzz when you're drinking. So the endorphin is the issue. Now, when we get to the point where we understand that endorphin is the issue and the starting point with everything is endorphin, then we're on the road to a much, much better or a higher success rate. My background was working in alcohol and drug rehab center management. Before that, I worked in homeless shelters. Before that, I worked on the streets myself for about 4 years with guys on the streets. I would go out and visit the guys on the streets, take them sleeping bags, etc., food, etc., etc. So that whole process, that whole side of things, when you start to realize that the relapse rates are absolutely massive with abstinence-based programs, nothing wrong with them. It's just that science and medicine and biology has caught up in 2025, and today the whole future of recovery is changing, thankfully. Not because there's anything wrong with anything else. It's just that the success rates that you see when you treat alcohol dependency, as a neurological condition, when I'll explain how we treat it in a second, when you treat it with a medication called naltrexone, success goes up to about it goes up to about 78%. This process has a clinically trialed 78% success rate. I've worked with it alongside Matt for the last 6 years, and the success rates that we have seen in the last, I would say 6.5 years have been absolutely massive. We work with an addiction specialist doctor who will do the prescribing of the medication for us, and we run a one-to-one reduction program. Okay, so just for anyone, we're based in the UK. We only work with clients here in the UK, Scotland, England, Ireland, and what have I missed? Wales. Sorry, Wales. And then what is the solution to the whole process? The solution to the whole process is a medication called naltrexone. Naltrexone is an opiate inhibitor, sits on the opiate receptor. With our program, our doctor will prescribe naltrexone to be taken 1 hour before someone consumes alcohol. When you consume alcohol, the brain produces a massive amount of endorphin. That endorphin, the naltrexone sits on the opiate receptor. It works as a filter so that when the endorphin come to hit the receptor, and that's what gives you the reward, it is reduced dramatically. And the reward is reduced dramatically. When you reduce the reward, it then rewires what we call the neurological pathway in the brain. And as a result of that, it removes the craving. If you remove the craving, you don't get relapse. Here's something absolutely fascinating. I have never, in over 1,000 clients, I have never seen somebody relapse with this process. Never seen it. And when I say relapse, we're an alcohol reduction program leading to controlled drinking or abstinence. So people may be dropping 70%, 80%, 90% of their drinking levels, or the volume that they're drinking. When I say relapse, because our program, the majority of people will continue to drink at some level. And as a result of that, when I say relapse, I mean going back to drinking what they were drinking before they started with us. And going right the way back and doing it on a constant basis. I've never seen it happen. Never seen it happen. Okay. That's quite a bold statement, really, when you think about it. When I worked in rehab and with all the peer support groups, the relapse rates were huge, unfortunately, and so we're just trying to give people another option. It's still a good option for people if people want to go down that road. Absolutely fantastic. But if you're struggling, if you're going round and round the hamster wheel of drink sobriety relapse, then we'd be more than happy to have a chat with you and help you. If you're in the UK, I'll put a button at the bottom. There's a link at the bottom. If you want to get some more information, there's a blue button at the bottom. Please feel free to click that. Okay, we're also live on Rethink Drink YouTube and Rethink Drink Facebook. So if you see me looking over here, it's because I'm watching the screen as well on the back here. Are there any side effects? Someone's asking. About 20% of people will experience a little bit of nausea on day 1 and day 2 of taking the medication. And then after that, it will normally drop off completely. The other side effect is sometimes people feel a little bit of lightheadedness, again on day 1 and day 2, and that normally disappears after day 2. Long term, there's no side effects. The medication is not mood altering or mind altering, and there's no effect to it. You get no buzz from it. It's not a replacement medication. It's an opiate blocker, so it lowers the reward the brain gets when you consume alcohol. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to go down. Someone's saying, my withdrawals are so bad, how do you quit? Our program is a gradual reduction program. If someone is going to stop overnight cold turkey, please, please, please do not do it until you've spoken to your doctor and spoken to your doctor to see if you need a medical detox. Now, if with our program, it's an alcohol reduction program leading to controlled drinking or abstinence. And we do that over a period of 3, 6, or 12 months, depending on how much someone is drinking. That's one of the main reasons why the support program is so important with people. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for following us. Naltrexone helps. Thank you to the person. I'm not going to mention any names because we're live on Facebook and YouTube as well. So, how do I get rid of the want to drink beer every day? The want to drink beer every day comes from one thing and one thing only: endorphin. When you drink alcohol, the brain is producing endorphin. Endorphin is highly addictive. Now, the reason that you are wanting to drink every single day is the brain's craving and addiction for endorphin. You drink alcohol, it produces endorphin. A very, very basic biological research on what happens when you drink and it's producing that huge amount of endorphin. What does endorphin do in the brain? How does it make you feel? It's that endorphin that is the addiction. I'm not going to go into it just now, but there's a huge amount of endorphin produced when you drink alcohol. When you do that over a repeated period over years, the brain will become more and more and more and more and more dependent and addicted to that endorphin. And as a result of that, when you try and stop drinking, it creates craving for the endorphin, and that creates the relapse. And as a result, or when you are drinking, the reason that you're pushing and pushing and pushing for more and more drink is because the brain is chasing and pursuing that endorphin reward. Naltrexone will regulate and control it, but you also need to have a one-to-one support program to help you reduce that down at the right speed, that is safe, that is controlled, that someone can talk you through the whole process. What medications do you recommend to wean off? Naltrexone, 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 naltrexone. That's and the reason I say that is, yes, that's what we do, and obviously I'm going to answer that. But I've worked in environments where I've seen a 5 to 10% success rate, and I've also worked with this model that has for 6 and a bit years that is showing a 78% success rate. So I every single day of the week, anyone say, what medication do you recommend? Naltrexone, 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 alongside a one-to-one support program. Again, that's what we do. So it's people saying, well, that's all, you're just pushing your program. But it is absolutely vital that people get the one-to-one support. Absolutely vital that you get the one-to-one support. Thank you. Appreciate your advice. Thank you. Appreciate your comment. Thank you very much. Shot or pill? Pill every single time. Welcome America. We seem to be getting a lot more Americans coming onto the lives now, which is great. A shot, there is in America, you can get something called the Vivitrol shot. We've never used it in this country, and we probably never will. The reason we don't use it is because a Vivitrol shot or injection sits in your system 24/7. The whole idea of naltrexone is that you're trying to rewire the neurological pathway in the brain. And that was what creates the long-term result. The rewiring of the pathway in the brain is what creates habits and behaviors and thought patterns, etc., etc. So what you're trying to do is rewire the pathway by taking the medication. An hour before you drink, it lowers the reward, and every time that you do that on the medication, the brain learns, every time I do this, I'm going to get a lower reward, and it rewires the neurological pathway. But you have to teach and train the brain that when you're giving it the naltrexone and it's getting the lower reward, it is specifically targeting the alcohol. So if you are taking naltrexone injection and it's in your system 24/7, it will work for a lot of people, but it's nowhere near as effective as the pill version that you take 1 hour before you drink alcohol. So I would go down the pill route 100% of the time. Also, if you have any adverse side effects from the injection, or then what's going to happen is you're going to be struggling for a whole month until it wears off. I have known someone to end up in hospital because they were allergic to one of the ingredients in the medication, and they ended up in hospital for a whole month until it came out of their system. So if anyone is in the UK, someone's asking, how can we get in touch for help? If you're in the UK, Scotland, England, Ireland, or Wales, Republic of Ireland and Ireland, if anyone is needing support, there is a blue button at the bottom of here. Please click that, fill out the details, and we'd be more than happy to get in touch with you, either send you some more information or give you a phone call. Okay, I am missing out a few comments. We get so many comments coming up through TikTok, especially. There's nothing at the moment on YouTube or Facebook. But I just can't get to every question, first and foremost. And secondly, I try and keep all the answering of comments wherever I can to topic related, anything to do with naltrexone or the process that we run. Okay, let me just check something quickly. Sorry, I'll be with you in a second. Okay, sorry, just need to check something for later today. I'm drinking, memory loss. Thoughts on Xanax for detox? I would never go into discussions in regards to medications for detoxes. That's very much obviously you're mentioning Xanax, that's obviously America. We use different medications in this country, Librium, diazepam. So basically that's a question for the doctor. If anyone is thinking of stopping immediately and is seeking, and please seek your medical advice for a medical detox and go with the advice of what the doctor is advising. If I drink 5 days a week, am I too far gone? No, no one's ever too far gone. The brain becomes dependent on the endorphin. So whether someone is drinking every single day, whether they're drinking 3 or 4 bottles of wine a week, or whether they're drinking a bottle of vodka, a bottle of spirits a day, the program will work for everybody. We've never come across anyone that it hasn't worked for, unless you're on opiate-based painkillers. Can you get GP from your naltrexone? There's my dyslexia kicking in. Can you get naltrexone from the GP? In most cases, no, is the answer to that here in the UK. The reason for that is, it's a long explanation, I won't go into it, but it needs to be prescribed specifically by an addiction specialist doctor. So we work with an addiction specialist doctor here in the UK who will prescribe naltrexone for this specific purpose. The NHS GPs, very few of them have even heard of this process. And if they have, basically what they're doing is they're writing a prescription to somebody with the permission for them to continue drinking. Now, that can open up a whole bunch of doors for a GP if they're sort of saying, yeah, well, listen, here's naltrexone, carry on drinking. If anything happens with that individual when they're continuing to drink, the doctor's not aware of what's happening and how it's working, and they've got no support, the doctor's not going to prescribe it, quite rightly, from a medical point of view. So our doctor knows the support levels that we give people. The doctor understands. We've worked with the same doctor for 6 and a bit years, and the doctor is more than happy to prescribe alongside the support program. Our doctor will not prescribe correctly without the support program, and we are the only people currently in the UK who offer a genuine backup support program. 1 or 2 other people say that they offer the support program, but you really don't get any more than just a phone call. Our support program is all one-to-one. It's all done through Zoom, so we're meeting with people on a fortnightly, weekly basis, depending on what program people take out, for a 3, 6, or 12-month basis. Naltrexone is Vivitrol. Vivitrol is an injection version of it. So yes, naltrexone is Vivitrol, but it's an injection version of it. Here in the UK, we don't use Vivitrol at all. I'm confused because Vivitrol is naltrexone. Naltrexone is an injection form of naltrexone. It's in your system 24/7. We in the UK use the pill version because it specifically targets the period of time where someone is drinking. So let's say someone is drinking 5 days out of 7. They're not drinking on the days. On the days they're not drinking, they don't take the medication. So there's no blocking of the receptors. And that's what, so we're specifically targeting the alcohol with the medication. So here in the UK, it might be different. It's different in the States, I know. If your doctor's prescribed it, well, that's great. But here in the UK, we only use the medication form. How long's the average time span it's safe to take naltrexone for? Naltrexone is a medication for life, so it's safe to take it for life. Are you saying, now here's a great question. Are you saying that if someone is an alcoholic, in other words, they're drinking too much, they're dependent on endorphin? People are not alcoholics very quickly. People are endorphaholics. You drink alcohol, it produces endorphin. People are not addicted to alcohol, they're addicted to endorphin. So someone's asking the question, when someone is dependent on endorphin, can they drink again safely with naltrexone? Absolutely, 100% yes is the answer to that one. We've worked with over 1,000 clients. We would say 90% of our clients, roughly, will continue to drink in a controlled manner going forward. And we work, and again, the next question that will come up, and guarantee you, I'm a bit behind here, the next question will come up is, yes, but they're not proper alcoholics. We work with people who, I've worked with a guy, I was watching one of his TikToks yesterday, bottle of Jack Daniels, 2 bottles of wine every single day, every day. He was drinking drinking sobriety, relapse, drinking sobriety, relapse, again and again and again. Today, he'll have 1 or 2 glasses of wine 2-3 times a week, complete control, no white knuckling it, no craving, no meetings, no lifetime 12-step processes. On the days he does drink, he takes his medication. It regulates and controls the endorphin. As a result of that, the drinking doesn't spiral into one more. So can someone drink safely? If someone is currently drinking, the brain needs to go through an alcohol reduction program by taking the medication and drink, take the medication and drink to rewire the pathway. Now, if someone is not drinking, this program is not for someone who is not drinking. It has to be someone who is currently drinking. Okay. And this is another one that we just want to cover quickly. And this is the one thing that anyone who struggles with alcohol dependency, this is one of the most, I don't know how to say it. Just don't drink alcohol is the comment. People are so weak. That's a shocking comment, absolutely shocking comment. If you understand anything to do with alcohol dependency, you'll understand a few things. Number one, it's not weak in any form, shape, size, or manner. It is a neurological dependency, a chemical that has such a strong pull on people that it is nothing to do with character shortfall, weakness, strength of mind, etc., etc. It will pull down the best of people. So please, we need to stay away from that kind of knowledge and understanding of the whole process. I'm going to have to jump a few questions. If I have missed any question that anyone's left and you're here in the UK, and I'll just pin a blue button. It's coming in a second, I think. Here it comes. There's a blue button at the bottom. If anyone would like to get in touch with us and you're in the UK or Ireland, please feel free to click that button at the bottom, send us some details, and we will send some information across to you. So, right, let me just get rid of the gentleman, I think it is, who's saying very weak. Obviously, absolutely no understanding of alcohol addiction at all. So please, we're not going to have people coming on and making people feel more guilty about the process as it is. So there we go. So glad you said that. Yes, it will pull the best of people down. Absolutely. I've just deleted that what's the word? That user. I've just deleted that or blocked them. So many people, when someone says that, I'm not going to go round and round and round it. Alcohol dependency is not a weakness. Alcohol dependency is not a personality issue. It's not a character shortfall. You don't have to hit rock bottom before and put up your hand and say, hey, my name. You don't have to go around that constant cycle of repetition and telling yourself again and again and again and again and again and again and again, I'm not worthy. I'm a bad piece of meat. I'm an alcoholic and I'm going to be an alcoholic for the rest of my life. And oh dear, what's my life come to? We have to come away from that whole mentality of degrading, which is what it is, of degrading people and individuals, telling people that it's a character shortfall, it's a personality issue, there's 101 different things. It's a weakness of the mind. It's something that you'll never be able to get rid of, and therefore you've got to sit in the cesspit of negativity for the rest of your life. It's a neurological condition whereby when the brain you drink alcohol, the brain is producing endorphin. 35 years of research, 125 clinical trials. Here, please listen to this one. With a 78% success rate, is showing beyond a shadow of a doubt that alcohol dependency is a neurological addiction to a chemical called endorphin that is completely treatable with a medication naltrexone and a one-to-one support program. Completely treatable. It's none of those other. We need to come away from the teaching, the training, the knowledge, the understanding that was gathered in 1935 and has been put out there in the world since 1935. It's worked for very few people for a huge amount of years, but it's not working for the majority. Now, if you treat it with naltrexone, it works for the majority. That's the point we're trying to get across. So can we work with you if you're outside the UK? Depending on where you are in the UK, sorry, where you are in the world, and whether you have access to naltrexone in the country that you're at. Send us, I'll put a link up at the bottom here. There's a blue button at the bottom. Please click that information. If you'd like some information, let us know where you're from. Send us some information where you're from. Some countries we can, some countries we can't. And it also depends on whether you can get naltrexone in your country as well. This is very interesting. Thank you very much. I'm not mentioning any names because we are live on TikTok and we're live on Facebook. We've actually had a question come in. Can you get naltrexone without this support stuff? I'm sorry, but the answer to that one is no. It's not because we are trying to create business or whatever it is. Naltrexone has to come with support, not from our point of view, but from the doctor's point of view. Always remember that this program is you take the medication, you wait an hour, and then you drink. Take the medication, wait an hour, and drink. So you take one pill every 24 hours. Now, what happens is every time you drink, you lower the reward, it rewires the pathway, and it removes the cravings, and it deals with the addiction. Now, a doctor who's going to prescribe naltrexone for this purpose has to know that the individual has the support package to go with it, depending on how much they're drinking. So let's just say the doctor has to know that someone is reducing safely so that there's no issue with withdrawals. The doctor needs to know that emotionally and psychologically, the person is coping with less and less and less alcohol. And the doctor needs to know the doctor just can't keep prescribing with someone. Let's say someone's drinking half a bottle of vodka a day. The doctor cannot keep prescribing if that person is not seeing the success that they need to see, because the doctor's just saying, hey, listen, yeah, take your pill and carry on drinking. If there is no progress or success with the medication, the doctor needs to know that. So the doctor then say, okay, I'm really sorry, we can't prescribe anymore. You need to seek alternative treatment, and it has to be monitored and regulated completely. So can you get naltrexone? On YouTube's asking, can you get naltrexone without the support stuff? Unfortunately not, and I wouldn't recommend it in the slightest, because people are looking for the shortcut. They're looking for just give me a pill and I'll ride off into the sunset. It's not how it works. There are very, very specific processes that you have to go through. There are what do I do when I go on holiday? What happens at Christmas? What happens on my birthday? I drank a little bit extra last week. Oh no, what's happened? Is it working for me? All that kind of stuff. There's a whole range of stuff that needs to be covered on the support package. So taking the pill and just riding off into the sunset it doesn't work for the majority of people. So, and our doctor and any doctor who is coming from a medical ethical point of view should not be prescribing without knowing that there is a full support package with it. And that's not us saying that. That's coming from the medical doctor's side of things. Okay. Okay, where are we? It is 10 past. I've got about 10, 15 minutes before I need to jump off. If anyone's watching on TikTok, I've just pinned, if you want to learn more, there's a learn more button at the bottom. Please click that, fill out the form. We'll either send you some information or we can set up a phone call with you. If you're based here in the UK, Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales, the whole of Ireland and Wales as well. Never had the support, but would love it. Again, fill out the form below. Please feel free to click the Learn More button below. It's just jumped off. Let me put it up again. I need to find a way of pinning this up permanently. Okay, again, I'm having to miss out quite a few comments, I'm afraid. The link is not working. All right, okay, thank you. If the link's not working, if you go to our bio, our email address is there, hello@rethinkdrink.co.uk. Just send us an email and we'll get to that as well. hello@rethinkdrink.co.uk. Can you take the pill and not drink to stop the cravings? So someone's asking does naltrexone work as an anti-craving medication? The short answer to that one is no. If you're in the UK, go and speak to your doctor and ask your doctor about a composite. A composite is the medication that you need to be looking at as an anti-craving medication. It works on two different receptors, but you need to go and speak to your doctor and ask about a composite as an anti-craving medication if you are abstinent. I'll send you an email. Okay, that's perfect. There should be, I'll put it up again. There's a learn more button at the bottom. That should be working. If it's not working, please send us an email. And try mushrooms. They worked for me to quit drinking. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Naltrexone is it's not mood altering. It's not mind altering. There's no issues. It's an opiate blocker. It has an 80% success rate. Mushrooms help people in some cases, but then you're going down the road of psychedelic drugs. There is an argument. There's a research going on at the moment. Does that work well? It's showing some success. I personally wouldn't go down that road. I wouldn't go down the road of psychedelics. I'd go down the road of a medication that just blocks it and doesn't change the mind, the brain, or anything else. But that's a personal choice. Okay, Tim, just call it out for what it is, please. No political stuff on here. We don't do anything political on this platform. So whoever you support in whatever, fantastic, great, but please leave it out of this chat. Okay. Okay. Let me just go back. Do I have to stop drinking altogether? Sorry, just reading some stuff there. Do I need to stop drinking altogether? The answer to that one is no. We are an alcohol reduction program leading to controlled drinking or abstinence. The majority of people we work with will reduce down to a controlled level of drinking and continue to drink at social events once a week, twice a week, in a controlled manner as they go through that process. So some people will go to abstinence. You can go to abstinence if you choose to, but the majority of people will still continue to drink at some level. One thing, guys, please, we don't want any politics or any discussions about any politics or anything coming into this platform. I will block people when you start mentioning. I understand that some people are struggling with political stuff and they're drinking as a result of that. But please, 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 any mention of politics on here, and I will block people. This is not a political channel. This is a channel to help people who are struggling with an addiction to a chemical called endorphin. People are not drinking and dependent because of political issues. People are not drinking and dependent because of anything that's going on in life in general. It's because the brain is dependent on endorphin. So I don't want to go into any political discussions, any religious discussions. This is specifically to deal when you drink alcohol, it produces endorphin in the brain. The addiction is to the endorphin. The solution to the addiction is naltrexone. It's nothing to do with anything else along those lines. So just please respectfully ask guys not to keep all that for another channel. That's absolutely fantastic. If they said to me to reduce first, but I found it hard to reduce. That's just me. It was all or nothing. Yeah, Tracy, it does tend to be all or nothing when people are drinking without naltrexone. When you drink with naltrexone, it lowers the reward of the endorphin in the brain and helps to reduce the alcohol intake over a period of time, and it rewires the pathway. So, okay. Can you still drink after doing the Sinclair method? Absolutely. The majority of people who continue to drink will continue to drink on the Sinclair method. The majority of people. So you do get a few that will go to abstinence, but the majority of people will continue to drink at some level. How long does it take to not be addicted? Okay, that's a very good question. It depends on how much someone is drinking, how long they've been drinking at that level for, and once they deal with the addictive side of the process with the medication, then yes, we then need to deal with the emotional, psychological side of things. So every single person is different. I would say on average, 3 to 6 months is an average figure for most people. If someone is drinking at a higher level, where they're drinking sort of every single day, half a bottle to a bottle of vodka a day or spirit a day, then you're looking at probably 6 to 12 months for that area. So on average, between 3 and 6 months. What's the chemical you said that balances endorphin? It's not so much a chemical, it's a medication, a licensed medication called, my brain's gone, called naltrexone. Naltrexone, it's an opiate blocker, sits on the opiate receptor in the brain. You take the pill 1 hour before you consume your first drink, and then you drink as per lead. And as a result of that, it lowers the reward of the endorphin in the brain. It rewires the neurological pathway. And as a result of that, okay, let me just, we've got someone who's putting some stuff on YouTube. Thank you very much. We'll just get rid of them. Sorry. And someone else has just put some comments on YouTube. Sorry, I've missed them. It makes sense. Thank you for the support. More than welcome. Absolutely welcome, James. If we can do anything to help, James, please get in touch. We'd be more than happy to have a chat or talk about it through. The side effects of naltrexone are harsh. I would say for 98% of people, the side effects for naltrexone are not harsh. Very, very small amount of people. I would say 1% of people will get rashes or things like that, just like people would do with any medication. But for the majority of people, the side effects are very, very slight. My wife is a pharmacist, and she says you can get naltrexone from your GP. I'm afraid that's not the case. There are 1 or 2 GPs here in the UK that will prescribe it. If there is a GP that is prescribing naltrexone, I would love to hear from them. So if you could send us an email, hello@rethinkdrink.co.uk, I would love to speak to a GP who is prescribing naltrexone. Now, the other question to ask, is the GP prescribing it for use as an anti-craving medication with people who are abstinent, which is If they are prescribing it, that's the way they'll be prescribing it. Or are they using it to be taken alongside alcohol on a reduction program? I can almost guarantee that they won't be prescribing it for use alongside alcohol on a reduction program. They may be doing it if they're a pharmacist, they'll be working with a local doctor surgery, and that doctor surgery may be prescribing it for other use, but not with alcohol or alongside alcohol on a reduction program. Side effects of naltrexone, very small amount of people will get a little bit of nausea on day 1 and day 2. Some people, again, a very small percentage, will experience a little bit of lightheadedness on day 1 and day 2 as well. Apart from that, very little. Is there a medicine to increase your dopamine or endorphin levels? No, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to do it. When you're drinking alcohol, it's producing a huge amount of endorphin. If you're going to take a medication that's going to give you the huge amount of endorphin that you get from alcohol, all you're doing is replacing one drug for another drug. And you'll become addicted and dependent on that medication rather than dealing with the issue, which is the addiction to the endorphin. So what you need to be doing is take naltrexone. It lowers the reward, doesn't remove it, it lowers it. When you take the medication and drink, it rewires the neurological pathway in the brain, and it basically de-addicts the brain to the huge amount of up here, and it brings the whole reward structure down to the lower levels so that someone can then drink or not drink at the lower level if they choose. You don't want to be taking medication to get the huge amount of endorphin that you get from alcohol. What medication? The medication is naltrexone plus a one-to-one support program. A GP will not or shouldn't be prescribing for this program or a doctor without this proper support package. Tracy, I had that once and drank on naltrexone. It was awful. Again, Tracy, I would recommend getting support, one-to-one support. It needs to take a period of time for the whole thing to be working properly. Depends on how you took it, when you took it. Did you have food? Did you have water? How much you're drinking? How long have you been drinking for? That's why the support program is so important. Every single client we work with, we very gradually put them onto the medication through the doctor's advice. And then we will gradually get them onto the medication, and then we will gradually work them through. Every single person is different, and that's why the support is so important, Tracy. I'll stick again the link or pin the link at the bottom. There's a Learn More button at the bottom. Please click that. If that doesn't work for some reason, please just send us an email. More than welcome. My fellow, I needed to hear this. You're more than welcome. Okay. Someone says, I'd rather not drink. If you want to reduce right the way down to abstinence, that's absolutely fine as well. But what you will find is if you reduce with this process down to abstinence, you'll get down to a point where there's no craving, there's no white knuckling it, there's no requirement for meetings. If you then decide a year, 2 years, 3 years down the track that a life situation comes along and you feel like having a drink, then you can take your pill, have a drink, and you won't relapse. Now, it's not a case that, please, I've got to say this one very quickly. It's not a case, the brain, you have to rewire the neurological pathway in the brain through the process of 3 or 6 months of taking the pill, drink, take the pill, drink, take the pill, drink on a reduction program for that process to happen. In other words, a year down the track, if you have a drink, take your pill, have a drink. If you are currently not drinking and you haven't gone through the 3 or 6 months with the brain, then it's not a case of just picking up a pill and the whole thing not happening. So if you are currently not drinking, this is not a program for you. If you are currently drinking, then it is a reduction program for that. So. Okay, where are we? 26 minutes past. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it a day. I need to be in a meeting in about 4 minutes. Okay, we've been live as well on Rethink Drink YouTube and Rethink Drink Facebook. Please feel free to follow us. Rethink Drink YouTube, Rethink Drink Facebook page. Please follow us on there. Follow us on TikTok here. I'll just stick up the link again at the bottom. There's a learn more button at the bottom. Please click that, fill out the details, and we'd be more than happy to get back in touch with you. If that's not working, someone said it wasn't working, please send us an email, hello@rethinkdrink.co.uk, and we'd be more than happy to get in touch with you that way. We can set up a phone call, we can send you some more information. We can do that. Please feel free to follow the page. Nice to meet you too, Tracy. Please know that one thing, alcohol dependency is not your fault. It's a neurological condition where the brain has become addicted to a chemical in the brain called endorphin. That addiction to the chemical can be treated completely with a medication called naltrexone plus a one-to-one support program. It's not a personality shortfall. It's not a character issue. It's not you being weak or being bad or being whatever it is. No one explained the biological process of what happens when you drink and the brain becomes dependent on endorphin. Please know it's not your fault. Now, what someone does under the influence of alcohol is their responsibility, but the actual addiction is not your fault. No one told us about it 5, 10, 20 years ago. Alcohol dependency today is completely treatable. Please follow our page, guys. Let me just wind up. If you're watching YouTube or Facebook, please feel free to get in touch with us, and we'll speak.